We are live.
All right. We didn't discuss who's introing this, so I guess I am. Welcome to podcast number 23.
23.
Number 23. Also, our first podcast that we are live streaming. If you're coming back and watching this, you missed the live stream. Check out our social media, Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that. We'll try and, alert you guys a little bit before the podcast goes live, so that way you guys can be here live to check it out. So today, the topic is Destiny 2, and really just Destiny in general. It's kind of in a weird limbo state right now. Me and Troy have pretty much taken a pretty solid break from it, which I think a lot of people have. Bungie has this past Wednesday, and then they'll do another one tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. Basically, reveal streams talking about the update that's going to come out on March 28th, and that's when we'll learn a lot of new stuff. But the first one already happened, and so we kind of have an idea of what's coming. So the first update was talking about this new record book that's going to be coming out, which is basically going to be like the record books that we've had so far in the game. And it'll be kind of like, collecting, it'll be Crucible, it will be strikes, rating, something for everybody. And it's going to give a lot of people some more to do, between now and whenever Destiny 2 comes out, which, by the way, hasn't even been, advertised at all yet, or even really announced. But this update that comes out on the 28th is called Age of Triumph, and it's basically, as they described it in this live stream, kind of a victory run. The old raids are coming back. There will be a new set of armor for each one of them. There will be, just revitalize basically the whole thing. Basically, all the content in Destiny will be replayable. And so a lot of people have mixed emotions about this. Some people think it's a little bit cheap to recycle old game, mechanics and all that. Some people think that, it should, a lot of people are excited. I'm personally excited to go back and play Crota's End and Ball the Glass with, more of a challenge to it. But Troy, I want to hear your thoughts. I know you have a little bit of a different opinion.
I'm not that big on recycled content. I guess that's how I would put it.
Would you consider remastered games recycled content?
Depends on the game and how good it is and how much depth there is to it. I like Destiny as a game. There are a few things that I would like to see change about the game, but overall, the gameplay is good. I have issues with the matchmaking and things like that, but as far as them bringing back the raids, that's cool and all, but I really felt like there should have been more raids than this from the get-go. Like, when the game first came out, as many raids as there are now, this is how many raids should have came with the game.
Well, it was kind of a season-based thing, like every period of Destiny had, its theme to it. And, each one had a raid, which is the final act, the final boss, to go along with whatever that theme was. So I guess that's the way that I see it. But yeah, the lack of content has definitely been a pretty reoccurring issue.
Yeah, and also with that, the thing is that a lot of these things that were in the raid were like already built into the game, and I haven't forgotten. Like, I have not forgotten the fact that there are strikes and raids that were built into the final game, and they decided to go ahead and sell it as DLC. I had a serious issue with that, and I felt like Bungie just kind of milked us for our money.
Right.
It
is Activision we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And we all know how Activision they like their moolah.
Yeah. And I honestly feel like Destiny would have been a different game if it still would have been under Microsoft.
It's possible.
Because Microsoft, if one thing Microsoft has done well lately anyways, is listening to the fans.
Yeah. Well, Destiny has been very good about listening to the fans, more so than any other Activision game. Deej and the Bungie team, they've been pretty active as far as, weapon balancing and, all this other stuff. But yeah, there are definitely some issues there. And I'm glad that they haven't fallen as deep into the microtransaction range. It's pretty much all cosmetic.
Yeah. But I mean, why dive in deep with the microtransactions when you're selling like 3 or 4 DLCs?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you're talking to 2 people who have bought every single bit of DLC like the day it came out too. So, we've pretty much been around. We've been around the block as far as this game goes. But so here's a big question: is that when this update drops on March 28th, are you going to hop back on?
Probably not. I don't see myself going back to it. Look, it's one thing for a game to be remastered, like, about 10 years or something like that,
Yeah.
But the game is still fresh, and I don't know. I mean, I've already beaten it, and it was freaking hard, and why would I want to beat it again at a freaking while it's hard again? It's like and I mean players were using their old armor and playing through those old raids and stuff like that just to see just to get that same feel again.
Right.
But yeah, I mean I don't know, man. I don't feel drawn back to going back to playing Destiny. I don't feel like I mean, if anything, I'll probably play through a raid or something like that, but man, I'm tired of the grind. I've gotten to a point now where I no longer care about my light level, and Iron Band it just took up all the time for me playing other games. And now that I've been playing other games, I'm like, holy crap, I missed out on so much, And it's one of those things where we were talking about before about games like World of Warcraft and those kind of games where they're just time consuming.
No, yeah, it's like if you play that game, that's all you play. It's like you get online with your friends and that's what you play. It's like, oh yeah, I play Destiny now and nothing else.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what Destiny is becoming. It's becoming, in a sense, an MMO.
Oh yeah, well they've been trying to go for the whole MMO, RPG, FPS, all this stuff, and whenever I look at it as a victory run for the game, the game that I feel like has been one of my favorite games over the last 3 years since it's been out. It's the only game really that I have been continuously playing since it came out, besides maybe GTA 5. But it's kept my attention through this whole time, and 2 things. One, some of my fondest memories for Destiny were in those 2 raids that they're going to be bringing back. Vault of Glass and Crota Zen, to this day, are 2 of my favorite raids. And to be able to go back and kind of grind for more armor again and get together with some friends and go play through it again. And the other thing is that Bungie could have easily just done nothing between now and Destiny 2 coming out. This update's completely free. This isn't DLC coming out or anything like that. They're doing this strictly for the fans. They want to give the fans, the book and the raids, and give them a little bit more longevity between now and Destiny 2 coming out. So, kudos to them for at least giving us something instead of, just kind of, continuing to have people just grind for no reason at this point.
Yeah. Alright, so I guess we can talk about Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, that game that exists but doesn't.
We're definitely going to see it at E3.
Yeah.
We'll definitely see Destiny 2.
If
not before.
Yeah. Yeah, because
it'll be at the Sony event.
Yeah, because well, what is? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that or maybe one of the PAXs or something like that. But it's odd whenever a game gets announced during gets announced during the summer, announced, and then comes out before the end of the year. you know, most of the time games are released at E3. It's like, you know, if it's teased into 2015, it's coming out winter of 2016 or something like that. But you know, they're saying that it's going to be this year. Let me go ahead and start off by saying this. One of the only things that is confirmed, you know, there's a little bit more confirmed details wise, but characters will be crossing over. Okay, you will be able to take your Guardian from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. However, all of your belongings, as far as we know, will not be carrying over. Your weapons, your armor, your shaders, emblems, all that stuff, that is not guaranteed to be coming back. And I'm a little bit frustrated about some of that stuff, not so much the weapons and armor, but you know, I have some emblems and stuff that, you know, represent some major accomplishments that I had in the game that I would like to come over, but you know, they're starting fresh, and I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they were to bring everything over, it wouldn't be Destiny 2. It would be just like another expansion.
Yeah, and
you
that's...
know, there may be some shaders and some other stuff that'll go over, you know, based upon what you've completed in the game, a la Call of Duty.
Right.
If you played past Call of Duties, then you get this emblem for
yeah.
getting 10 prestige or whatever. We may see something like that. I'm perfectly fine with him not bringing all those guns over to the next game. In my opinion, I think there were way too many guns. I would like to see something maybe a little bit more Call of Duty style and see the guns rank up. I'm so used to playing games where your character ranks up and your guns rank up.
Yeah.
You know, not where you have to add on armor to get your character to rank up higher.
Your guns rank up in the sense that you can, you know, unlock more perks for them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not quite as much as the longevity of trying to, like, you know, get gold camo in Call of Duty or something like that.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, I would have been perfectly fine with just the exotic weapons being in the game and nothing else. Like, just the exotics, and you having to earn those exotics by playing the game and ranking up, and not random drops because Gallahorn.
Right.
Gallahorn.
Yeah, he didn't get a Gallahorn for a very long time.
For a very long time.
I've gotten 3 of them, 2 from Nightfalls, 1 from Crota Zen, and I think you finally got one whenever Xur finally sold it.
I played so much. So much, and to not get a Gallahorn,
the RNG
was the worst.
The RNG, yeah, and you know, and it's going back to the whole, you know, you mentioned that if they didn't change anything, it would be kind of just, you know, Destiny, the next expansion. Well, that's what a lot of these MMOs are doing. You know, you look at games like World of Warcraft. There's not a World of Warcraft 2 and then 3. There's just the next update. The game that they're still updating now is the game that's been going for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
You know, and some people wish it was like that. You know, they don't want to lose all their stuff. I mean, there's still a good amount of people out there who 3 years later are still rocking their Destiny Alpha and Beta emblems.
Yeah. You
know, because they can show that, you know, I was there. You know, I accomplished this stuff. And, you know, I do hope that there's some kind of way. They have teased that the rewards that you get from the book for the Age of Triumph, you get emblems based on, you know, how many pages that you complete and all that. Some of that stuff may unlock some rewards for you in Destiny 2, since that's going to be like the overall completion thing. But, you know, Destiny 2, other than that, we really don't know anything about it. You know, it's... Destiny, you know, was kind of the first of its kind. You know, we've talked a lot about shared world shooters lately, and, you know, 5 years ago, shared world shooters, you'd be like, what's that? You know? And now, you know, you've got Division, you've got, heck, even GTA 5, I guess you could consider the online could kind of be like that. But, you know, I think it's going to be very, very successful based on what they've learned from Destiny 1. And no matter what anybody says, Destiny is an incredibly successful game. Okay, they did not have, I mean, they have some people who have negative notions towards that, I understand that, but the player base has been huge. They have had massive player growth, and, you know, I think that Destiny 2 is kind of going to make or break it. You know, because a lot of people have stopped playing Destiny altogether, and they're going to have to make a decision of, okay, well, am I just going to continue to stay off Destiny, or am I going to wait till Destiny 2 then hop back on, like you?
Yeah. I'm thinking Destiny 2 is going to suffer.
Going to suffer?
Yeah. I think all the grinding, I don't know. With games like The Division semi-flopping and what was that freaking crap sauce game that everybody thought was going to be great?
No Man's Sky?
No Man's Sky. Good Lord. No Man's Sky was supposed to be what we wanted Destiny to be.
Well, we wanted a portion of Destiny.
If Destiny and No Man's Sky had a baby, that would have been an excellent game.
Well,
An infinite universe with guardians and aliens and all that kind of crap, and you're fighting from planet to planet.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Well,
do that on Destiny 2.
I kind of disagree because, you know, one thing that has been talked about a lot, I think they've gotten through kind of some coding and stuff like that, and I don't exactly know where the rumors originated, but basically a lot of people are saying that each planet in Destiny 2 is going to be larger than all of the current planets combined. So if they can just expand, and like you were saying, like what if Destiny 2 launches and there's 3 raids to play right off the bat? You know, what if there's 25 different strikes and, you know, 15 game modes across 25 maps or something crazy, you know? And I don't necessarily think that more is better in every case because, you know, it is going to depend on the quality of the content. And, you know, Destiny's been fairly good in the past at whenever people have an issue with certain parts of the game, they can go and correct it.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, it's kind of a, yeah, I heard Dado, he's a YouTuber that, you know, I've been following for a while on Twitch and YouTube, and he was kind of talking about how Bungie has kind of had this dilemma where Destiny has a player base that is mixed between hardcore and very casual players.
Yeah.
You know, and no matter what happens in the game, they are going to have to cater to those casual players. You know, which means difficulty might not go that much more up. You know, RNG might not change that much. You have to make it appealing to both crowds. You know, you look at a game like Counter-Strike where probably just about every player is a hardcore player.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can make it as competitive as they want. They can make it as difficult as they want. But Bungie has to find this middle ground. And, you know, I think with stuff like Trials of Osiris and Iron Banner and stuff like that, they've kind of helped reach the hardcore audience a little bit. I would love to see it get an esports following. But with the weapon variants and all that stuff in the game,
there's way too many guns and there's too many different types of
that's a delicate, you know, house of cards there. But you know, I mean, this is just a thought. This isn't necessarily a, you know, part of this. I've always thought that a great game mode for Destiny would be exotic weapon gun game. Imagine you play, you know, gun game, like Call of Duty style gun game, but you jump from one exotic to the next.
Yep.
You know?
That may be something that's possible, you know, especially with them having custom games and stuff like that.
Right.
We may be able to see something like that soon, you know, if Bungie would just really let go of the game and give it all to the players as far as custom games are concerned and just let us do whatever we want.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're getting there. I mean, at least we have custom matches now. It took like 2 years, but, you know.
Well, I mean, I feel like they're just not willing to open up their full sandbox.
Yeah, you know? Well, again, there's so many different variations that can go into this game that I think it's probably more difficult than it looks.
Yeah. And some people feel like part of the reason why we didn't have custom games from the get-go was because they were hiding content in the game. And whenever you have custom games, you know, people are able to find that content a whole lot easier, right. And that's the reason why it didn't come to PC.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they didn't want people finding stuff, and they did anyway.
Yeah, and you know, it's going to be interesting because again, we really don't know what to expect outside of the very little information we have, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be all about that debut trailer. That debut trailer is going to make or break this game for a lot of people who have, you know, kind of parted ways with Destiny for a while. And it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out.
Yeah. See, I'm waiting for the debut trailer, and it's gonna be story based.
Yeah.
Probably from the get go.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there isn't anybody's voice or character that I feel like is gonna really.
Well, it'll be the speaker talking to us,
Yeah.
I'm sure, or something like
And
that.
I don't really care too much about the speaker
And
because the speaker played like absolutely no role
Well, and then
in the campaign.
Master Chief's gonna crawl out of the Traveler.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Because
awesome.
he's been chilling in there this whole time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's gonna be an Xbox exclusive, and people are gonna be pissed, except for me. But anyways, one thing I really appreciate about Destiny that they've done over these past 3 years, or however long it's been now, is that they have been a lot of fun. They've probably been one of the best developers so far with the updates that they've done. Every time a big holiday comes around, or Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, they just redecorate the whole game. All these different challenges, all these different objectives you can go do. They threw Sparrow racing at us for a while. They're very active. Whereas stuff like The Division, they put out stuff every once in a while, but there's no communication.
Yeah.
And Destiny doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think is an upside. So we'll see. Oh, also bring back Dinklebot. Tired of hearing freaking what's his name, Nathan Drake.
He's right up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to see that. I mean, dude, I like to see some changes in the story. I like to see an actual legitimate story. I mean, I've come to the point now to where I hardly really care about my Guardian, because I feel like my Guardian has no personality, and that was kind of the complaint with the freaking Peter Dinklage's Ghost with the way that it was voiced and the way that it was delivered.
Robot.
Yeah, it was a robot.
Supposed to sound robotic.
Yeah, but they changed some stuff.
Yeah.
And they made it better, and they fixed that. But man, I care zero about what happens with my Guardian.
It's another thing with this whole, if they make one primary character, then they take away that whole taking your Guardian from single player to multiplayer seamlessly kind of thing. Because, I compare it a lot to Halo Reach in the fact that, Halo Reach, at least your character had a little bit more character to him.
Not even so much that, but your crew that you ran with,
had
I mean, they had more character than the Spartan,
Right.
But you cared about your teammates.
Yeah, I think what would be really cool, in my opinion, as far as the story goes for Destiny 2, have the story missions, not necessarily the strikes or the raids or anything like that. Make all the story missions you playing as a part of a fire team. That's characters in the game. AI, NPC, whatever. They're Halo Reach style it. One of the best parts of Halo Reach was your team. And the team aspect to it. You started to care about the people next to you. We talked about early on with Destiny that none of the characters can't kill off anybody.
Yeah.
Because they're all vendors in the tower. But if you have some true characters in the game who actually mean something to you and, can really make a difference, I think that can really grab people. And that's something that Halo and Gears of War and stuff like that have always done really well, is just kind of grab that story. Whereas Destiny, you constantly have to ask questions.
Yeah.
You're like, well, why is this happening if I just did that? And why are they doing this if I didn't even do that? And, it's... why aren't all these people just attacking the tower all the time?
You need a face of the franchise, and right now Destiny doesn't have a face. You think
face is the Traveler.
God, the freaking big spear in the sky. Sphere, whatever. Same thing.
No, I can see that because we've talked about this in podcasts in the past, that franchises kind of need a face in order to be able to become a kind of a household thing, like you can't even have one of your Destiny characters be the face of something because your character has new armor to put on every week.
And
you know?
dude, I totally would have been fine with them having an all-out campaign based on one character, one guardian, or maybe you could choose between 3 guardians.
Hunter, Titan, Warlock.
Yeah, and the other 2 just kind of rolled along with you.
Yeah.
And that would have been great. And they had, great voice acting and all that kind of stuff. Give them some character, and then for all the stuff like the strikes and stuff like that, have it be sort of like Spartan Ops in Halo 4.
Oh yeah.
Where was it called Spartan Ops? I can't remember what it was called.
I'm assuming you're talking about an option.
Yeah.
To be able to play like that.
Well, and that's where you create your character, and then there's this. I mean, if you look at Spartan Ops Halo 4, it was kind of like you didn't really care too much about those characters, not that much.
Yeah.
You didn't care too much about the guy that you were playing as. He didn't really speak that much. Blah blah blah.
Right.
And that's kind of what Destiny felt like. And then it gives you a whole nother story, a whole nother campaign. More depth.
Yeah. And that I keep going back to Halo Reach because I think Halo Reach really perfected this, in the sense that, it was like that, they actually had a drawn out story that, even in Halo 4, even though you played as Master Chief in Halo 4, and, everybody loves playing as, Master Chief, but I loved in Halo Reach that, I could take this character who I get to watch go through the story and go through all that the characters went through in that game, and be able to still use that character. I don't feel like I'm having to play as somebody else each time.
Yeah.
I still get to have my character, but my character can still be meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like Destiny is going to have to really try and fix. Here I guess within the next 6, 7, 8 months.
The game should be close to being done. They should be.
What's crazy is,
close.
I don't know if you remember way back when, because Destiny was teased right around the time like Titanfall was teased, right? The first game.
Yeah.
And I remember for the longest time, nobody saw what PvP looked like.
Yeah.
For like the first 3 trailers, nobody knew what PvP. They knew it was coming, but they didn't know what PvP would look like. And then in one trailer, it was some sort of gameplay trailer. There was like a 2-second glimpse of what PvP was going to be.
Oh, 2 players sliding at one, sliding at the other one, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I wonder, are they going to be all out with this trailer that they come out with, or are they going to hide a lot like they like to do? We're going to have to find out.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get a finished product. And hopefully they learn their lesson about hiding stuff on the disc.
Yeah, well, I think
either hide it better or don't do it.
I think the content will be very, very large and a whole lot to do right off the bat. And like I said, it's been a successful game, and I think, if they take what they've learned so far, the good and the bad, the accomplishments and the mistakes, and they use that to create this next game, I think it can be a really polished game.
So, I don't have to grind to play the raid.
Well, I think that might still be the case.
I don't want to have to grind. I just want to be able to play it. And I want matchmaking.
Good luck with that.
I want matchmaking for the raid. I want matchmaking for everything. Give me matchmaking for everything. I don't have any friends. I'm lonely.
That's what DestinyTeamFinder.com is for.
Those aren't friends.
They become friends.
No, they don't become friends. You play with them one time and then you never talk to them again.
Colin.
I'll add you.
He's not serious, Colin.
I'll add you and then
pretty sure I met.
And then never play with me.
Pretty sure I met Colin on one of those websites.
I met I don't know how many people I met on the websites.
Yeah, there are all those people that sit on my friends list and I just never see.
You know what? All those people that are sitting on my friends list, they're not even playing this.
No, they're not.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're all watching. Everybody's watching Netflix. Everybody get off Netflix. Play some games.
Yeah, but you know what? I going back to what's going to be coming out. I guess 2 Tuesdays from now, 2 weeks. With this update, I'll definitely be back on. I'll probably be streaming it some. I enjoy Destiny, and they have said that they're going to keep the game live for a while. They're going to keep it, for the foreseeable future. Destiny is not going to be going offline. You can always go back and play it.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a sense of accomplishment to be able to go back and kind of, it's like going back and rewatching a season of one of your favorite TV shows. Just one last time. I remember whenever there's probably one season of The Walking Dead came out, and the next one was just about ready to come out, so I went and watched through the previous season just to get myself ready for the next one. And it got me that sense of kind of reliving it all over again and getting to experience it all over again to prepare myself for, what's going to be coming.
I'm gonna talk about Walking Dead again. You watch it.
Oh, you know what? I don't have one, but
yeah, you have all kinds of ways that you can watch.
It's not on Netflix.
You can watch. You could have been watching it right now.
Watching it while we're doing this podcast.
Yeah, watching it while we're doing the podcast. You can catch up on everything.
We got like 4 monitors in here, so
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Good watching everything.
There's actually 5. There's one more in the closet back there.
Oh man! All right. Well, Troy, you have any final words here?
No. I'm not pre-ordering Destiny. I'm waiting to see, what they're gonna bring to the table. I got to see. Call of Duty is going back to boots on the ground.
It's true.
There are other games that are calling my name. Red Dead Redemption coming out, all that kind of stuff.
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Yeah. Real quick, guys. We did a live stream a couple nights ago of Resident Evil 7, right?
Yeah.
Go back and check out that live stream. Tell us if that's something that you enjoy watching. It's a terrifying yet hilarious stream to watch. Everybody that was in the chat was loving it, and we had a really good time with that. So go check that out. Some of our other live streams. Give us some feedback of what you think. Some games you might want to see, and So again, look at us on social media to get kind of notifications of when we're going to be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And that way you can join us and we can have a good time. So, any other goodbyes, Troy?
Nope.
All right.
Peace.
Well, guys, thanks again for joining us, and we will see you guys online.
Later.